The moment Grace slipped her hand into mine and smiled at the crowd, my heartbeat stopped. She looked directly at a room full of elegantly dressed guests inside a beautiful lakeside estate in Asheville, North Carolina, and calmly announced that I was her boyfriend. The applause came instantly. Faces lit up with excitement. Cameras flashed. Yet while everyone celebrated, her fingers tightened around mine just enough for me to notice something no one else could see. Her smile never faded, but her frightened eyes silently pleaded with me. Please, don't ruin this. If stories about kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances mean something to you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you heartfelt stories that remind us the world still has good people in it. Only an hour earlier, I had been delivering flowers. My name is Nathan, and at 34, I owned a small floral shop that barely paid the bills. My dreams had become smaller over the years, but I still believed that bringing beauty into someone's day mattered. That afternoon, a last-minute order sent me to the annual fundraising gala hosted by one of Asheville's most respected charitable families. I expected to drop off arrangements and leave quietly. Instead, I accidentally walked into the middle of a family storm. Grace recognized me immediately because we had crossed paths several months earlier when she volunteered at a community garden beside my flower shop. We had exchanged only a few conversations about roses, tomatoes, and rainy Saturdays, yet she remembered my name. Before I could even ask how she was doing, several well-dressed relatives approached her, asking endless questions about the mysterious man she had supposedly been dating. That was when she reached for my hand. I should have corrected everyone. Instead, I saw fear hiding behind her calm expression. Throughout dinner, I slowly pieced together the truth. Grace's father, Walter, had suffered a serious heart condition the previous year. His greatest wish was to see his daughter finally happy after years spent caring for everyone except herself. The extended family had turned that wish into relentless pressure, arranging introductions, asking uncomfortable questions, and constantly reminding her that time was slipping away. She wasn't trying to deceive her father for selfish reasons. She simply wanted one peaceful evening where everyone would stop treating her life like a problem that needed solving. As dessert arrived, Walter stood to thank everyone for supporting the family's charity foundation. He spoke softly about gratitude, community, and the blessing of seeing his daughter smiling again. His eyes rested on us, and tears shimmered quietly as he said he hadn't seen that light in Grace's face for years. The room applauded. Grace lowered her head. That was when I realized her burden wasn't pretending to have a boyfriend, it was pretending to be okay. After the guests began wandering into the gardens, Grace finally admitted everything. Her mother had passed away 5 years earlier, leaving Grace to manage the family foundation, care for her recovering father, and keep everyone else's lives together. Somewhere along the way, she'd forgotten how to build a life of her own. She apologized repeatedly for pulling me into the lie. Oddly enough, I wasn't angry. I understood what it felt like to carry responsibilities that no one else noticed. My own parents had passed away within 3 years of each other, and keeping my tiny flower shop alive had become my way of honoring them. I knew what loneliness looked like when it dressed itself as strength. Before the evening ended, Walter thanked me privately for making his daughter laugh again. His gratitude felt undeserved, because I hadn't really done anything except stay. But sometimes staying is everything. The next morning, I expected the story to end. Instead, Grace appeared outside my flower shop carrying 2 cups of coffee and an embarrassed smile. She insisted on telling her father the truth. I admired her honesty, even if it meant everyone might resent both of us. When she confessed, Walter surprised us both. He smiled. He admitted he had suspected something wasn't quite right from the beginning. Fathers, he said, notice the difference between rehearsed smiles and genuine ones. What mattered wasn't whether Nathan was truly her boyfriend yesterday. What mattered was that, for the first time in years, she had spent an evening forgetting her worries instead of carrying everyone else's. He encouraged us not to force a romance simply because circumstances had brought us together. He simply asked us to become real friends and see where life naturally led. That simple permission changed everything. Over the following months, Grace began volunteering at my flower shop on weekends. We delivered bouquets to hospitals, retirement homes, and veterans who rarely received visitors. She discovered that helping people because she wanted to felt completely different from helping because she felt obligated. Meanwhile, I found myself laughing more than I had in years. Neither of us rushed the relationship. There were awkward moments, honest conversations, disagreements, and quiet evenings watering flowers together after closing time. Real life slowly replaced one unforgettable lie. Nearly a year later, Walter hosted another charity gala. This time, there were no surprises. When someone asked Grace whether I was her boyfriend, she smiled, looked at me with peaceful confidence instead of silent fear, and answered truthfully. The applause that followed felt completely different. It wasn't celebrating a performance. It was celebrating two ordinary people who had found hope in the most unexpected moment. Before this story comes to an end, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us, have you ever helped someone in a difficult moment without expecting anything in return? Your story might encourage someone else who needs hope today. And if this journey touched your heart, reminded you that compassion can change lives, or made you believe a little more in second chances, please consider liking the video, sharing it with friends and family, and subscribing for more emotional stories. Sometimes the greatest relationships don't begin with perfect timing. They begin with one quiet act of kindness, when someone silently asks for help, and another person simply chooses to stay.